I have the privilege of exploring the impact of diversity and inclusion with leaders across the country. I'm your host, Teresa Palacio Smith, serving as Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for Home Services of America and Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. And today I am so thrilled to introduce our guest, Luellen Smith, who's the 2024 Chair for the National Association of Home Builders Professional Women in Building Council. And the NAHB Professional Women in Building, also known as the PWB, stands as the voice of women in the building industry, committed to fostering industry professionalism and empowering members at local, state, and national levels. And I am so deeply inspired by PWB's dedication to fostering inclusivity and advancing women within the construction and building sectors, which is still an area where men dominate. So I cannot wait to learn more about the work that PWB is doing. So please join me in extending a warm welcome to Luellen Smith as we delve into this important discussion. So Luellen, welcome. I'm so excited you're on the show.
Thank you so much. I am excited and honored to be here. And so thank you for inviting me. And I do think this is such an important topic.
And one of the things that we always want to know is, how did you become involved, first of all, with the National Home Builders Association, which is one of the largest organizations in the country and holds one of the biggest events I have ever been to every year, right? When they do their what's it called? Their conference. It's specifically titled, and I've actually been involved at your PWB council. But what got you involved and inspired you to become part of this great organization?
Great. Well, first of all, the conference you're talking about is the International Builders Show. And we hold that at the beginning of the year, every year. This last year, it was in Las Vegas, and we had one of our largest record-breaking attendance. So it was phenomenal. So do put it on your calendar for next year in February to attend. I became involved because I saw an opportunity to make a difference in residential construction. As a woman who works in the home building industry, I see the importance for advocating for women's advancement in construction. And so I got involved at my local Home Builders Association first, and then the state. And I ended up being the second vice president of the Building Industry Association of Washington last year. And then I've also at the same time have been involved as a director and then a delegate at the National Association of Home Builders. And along the way, we have councils at many of our local home builder associations and of professional women in building. So I immediately gravitated to that with my passions and became involved in leadership there and ended up chairing at the local level. And of course, was very attracted to professional women in building at the national level as well. It provides a platform and resources that are necessary to create positive changes. And I was eager to contribute my time towards shaping a more inclusive environment within the residential construction industry.
And I love what your background is. So for those who are not familiar with what you do, because there are different facets, which I did not realize in the construction and building sectors, of which you belong to one of them that's very unique because of what you do. So I found it so interesting and fascinating, because I have to give a shout out to my son-in-law, who is a sommelier, and what you do is so cool. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I have been building custom wine cellars and saunas with my husband for over 3 decades. So now you're getting to know how old I am, but it's been a really unique industry to be involved in. And I'm very excited to say that my son is now involved and is a part owner as well. And it's been a really unique industry to be involved with. And so you would call me a subcontractor in the building industry. And we could be labeled either as an associate member of the National Association of Home Builders or as a builder member, either way. But it's great because you get to work with all the different industries. There are so many different facets Our associate members are a very large component of the National Association of Home Builders. So your realtors, a lot of those that are in the banking industry, a lot of your designers, it goes on of those, and many of those in the subcontractors are considered associate members of our organization.
And I
And
had
then
no idea of any of this, Luellen. So it's really fascinating and interesting because, when you think about it, you think about more, the actual products that go into a home. You think about the individuals that lay out the design for the house. You think about those that frame the homes. So again, I was very fascinated when I went to my first and was so daunted. I mean, it was so huge event that again was held in Las Vegas, and then it alternated to Orlando, but I think next year it's going back to Las Vegas again, correct?
yes, next year, I think next year's Orlando, I
Okay,
believe.
so because I thought it did alternate.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I know a
Well,
little
and
bit
they're going to be in Orlando one more time, and then we'll be in Vegas from then on.
from then on. And now tell us about the mission of PWB.
Well, with the mission, you kind of shared a little bit about, but I'll go ahead and go in there again. It's the voice of women in the building industry. We're dedicated to providing the Federation with strong leaders and a trusted partner for long-range planning and strategies for NAHB goals and objectives. And I'd like to just add to that we strive to empower women by providing the resources and support to help them excel in their careers through advocacy efforts, education, and networking initiatives. We want women to thrive, lead, and succeed in residential construction.
And you've done so much because you offer a lot of scholarships to motivate young women to pursue,
Absolutely.
pursue those fields. But what are some of those challenges that you see right now with women getting into the industry?
That's a really good question. Despite the significant progress that women are making right now, we still encounter barriers such as gender bias, unequal access to resources, and limited leadership roles. It's improving. It's improving a lot. In fact, you and I chatted about that earlier, but we must continue to work together to break down those barriers and cultivate an inclusive workplace and empower women to thrive. For example, there's a lack of gender-friendly safety equipment, such as safety harnesses, hard hats, boots, along with an absence of maternity-friendly safety gear for our women on the job sites. Additionally, there's a lack of women's restroom facilities on construction sites, which often can create obstacles. So that we do have a ways to go, and it is improving. But those are some of the challenges that I think our women face today.
Sometimes you don't realize those different, unique, needs that women have that men don't. It's funny that you said that restrooms because I originally just like last month had my roof replaced, Llewellyn, and I was really, it was all men working on the roof, right? All of them, and what a very unique job it was. But the project manager, I was so excited, was a female, and so she
Oh, that's so
came.
awesome.
Yes, so I was like, oh my God. But I was thinking, how is she able to use the facilities, and I asked her, do you need to come in? And she goes, oh my God, that'd be great. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Because I realize that that's a different animal. Just those
It
simple
really
things,
is.
right? That we are, that we don't think about that really does affect and may cause women to hesitate to go in those fields. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. So share with me some of those success stories or initiatives that have helped promote diversity and inclusion, especially right now in the home building sector during your tenure.
Oh, great. Yeah, absolutely. One, what I would say is mentorship, apprenticeships, vocational training. These programs are increasing all over the place right now in the workplace, and they're aimed at supporting women in various stages of their careers. These programs provide guidance, support, networking opportunities, and they're empowering women to navigate challenges and help them hone their skills so they can achieve their professional goals, of course. We have women entrepreneurs out there right now, which, and they're they're coming in right and left. I'm actually very pleased about this, to see that they are making a mark in residential construction right now as builders, developers, and suppliers. And they are helping to drive our economic growth, which I am so proud of. We have several builders as professional women in building trustees for us. And it's great to hear their insights when we have our meetings. They really bring a lot to the table. Additionally, Professional Women in Building has spearheaded initiatives to increase visibility and recognition for women through advocacy efforts, the awards that we've talked about, leadership and development programs, and of course, mentorship. We offer knowledge and expertise through our monthly shop talks that we put on and our local council meetups. We have a Professional Women in Building Week in September. We do educational sessions, especially at the International Builders Show that we just mentioned. We have our own Professional Women in Building headquarters there, where we have training going on consistently there. Wonderful programs, and also just a great place to network with other women in the industry. And then we also provide valuable opportunities for our members to explore industry issues, track trends, collaborate. We currently have 88 PWB councils across the nation.
Wow.
And we're growing. So I'm really excited about that. Our members are so supportive of each other, and we have incredible networking relationships that we build. And I will tell you, the internet has really helped because of having so many opportunities to have our virtual meetings and our virtual shop talks, where we can bring our women from all our different councils, can connect and share ideas and brainstorm on how we can help support each other. I've got to share about the house that she built, Brand. Have you heard about
Yes,
that
I
she built?
have. So tell me about it. I'm
Yeah.
excited about this.
I just think that that's an important one that has really made such an incredible impact. It's spearheaded by members in the Utah Professional Women in Building Council. And the initiative resulted in the construction of a remarkable 3,200 square foot home in Saratoga Springs, Utah. It utilized skilled tradeswomen and was women-owned companies of every stage of the project. So it was so impressive and really made an impact in our industry. Briati Bond was the engineer on the project, and we also had Christy Allen, who was the lead general contractor. And I don't know if you know Stephanie Daly, but she's a finished carpenter on the project, and the list goes on and on. So it was a great way to showcase women's prowess in the industry, and also served as inspiration for a wonderful book called The House That She Built, which was authored by Molly Elkman. And she got the idea to design this for young readers, kindergarten through second grade. And the book introduces them to the housing industry and the myriad career opportunities in construction. And so it sparked, by having these women, this women-led house initiative, it actually sparked outreach across the country, where there's women in Professional Women in Building Councils and other women's groups that are working on similar projects to raise awareness of women's potential in construction, which is exciting. And so they really have been inspirational figures in embodying the spirit of empowerment and excellence. And the book, by the way, one thing that's really awesome about that is it teaches the children about architectures and framers and roofers, and just all of these different skills and how women can handle and can do these different skills. And it's a fantastic way to open young minds to the endless opportunities
I love
in the
that.
building industry.
Where can you
So
find the book, Luann? Is it something that you find on
yep,
Amazon?
you can get it on Amazon, and you can also get it off of Builder Books at the National Association of Home Builders website. You can order it through that as well. And many of our professional women in building councils will have days where they'll go and read to children's groups, and they'll take the book and
Ah,
read stories, and it
that's
really does
ex
make an impact. It's
That is
great.
exactly what we need to be doing. And I love that idea, number one, because right now the shortage in the industry and the housing industry is, about homes, right? So to
Right.
get more young minds involved
Yep.
in the real estate piece, learning the construction of a home, how it's built, how a home, should provide shelter, but then all the different pieces that are part of that home that you personally could get involved in. I think that's amazing. And I know that I've been involved with the PWB Council and also y'all used to have a huge luncheon. I know y'all don't do that anymore, but the
Mhm.
year that that book was first initiated and that project was first completed, I was there and I remember how exciting it was to celebrate the chapters. For those who don't know this, most organizations will have chapters that come up with really cool initiatives that impact the entire country because they've put together something that others can then develop and also take on across the different platforms that they're part of in the different states. So I love that, specifically because to me, you just mentioned something. Going to schools and reading, that's something our real estate agents, our women could actually do. So I'm definitely interested in learning more about that. We'll talk off how I could get that book so I can get women in my diversity meets council that we have every month to go in and talk to children about building a home. So I love that. I really do, Luelle. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that story. So, how can the building industry better attract and retain diverse talent, especially women and minorities? Because being a minority, I'm a double, intersectionality, woman, minority, but you don't see that many minorities and women, right,
Mhm.
combined in that business. So, what can we do better?
I just think we need to start, of course, by creating that inclusive workplace culture and prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion. Absolutely. It involves implementing policies and practices that support equity opportunities for all, regardless of your gender, your race, and your background. That is so important. Additionally, offering mentorship and professional development programs tailored to the needs of women and minorities. This will help foster a more supportive environment, of course, and also providing flexible work arrangements, promoting work-life balance and offering competitive compensation and benefit packages. These are essential to better attract and retain,
I love that. I love
talent.
that. Yeah,
Women for maternity leave and things
exactly.
like that. It's just really important to make this appealing for them to want to continue.
One thing that I will tell you that I'm going to pull a shout out to hopefully Home Depot and Lowe's because they're huge in my market. Both of them. This is the headquarters of Home Depot, but Lowe's has main and I know they're sponsors too of
Yeah.
NAHB. So one of the things that I called recently, my husband passed away this past year, and I want to learn more how to use the tools that he has in the basement. And they're pretty daunting, scary tools. And I called to say, hey, do you have a course where I can go in and learn how to use these in a
Mhm.
safe manner? Because I want to be able to do it, and learn and how to operate it, how to start it. I don't even know how to start the equipment. And they didn't. So here's my call out and shout out to these organizations. Help us learn because that's a big part of because I want to learn how to use the tools, but I want to use it safely, right? I want to be able to learn how to use these tools because he's got a lot of great stuff downstairs. Because I want to do some of my own projects here at home. So again, there's where we start, right? Those little things that really make a difference. So, what are some of the common misconceptions about women being in construction and in those fields that you've encountered, and how do we address them?
I would say that one misconception about women is that they are not capable and skilled, and as skilled as their male counterparts. Um, And of course, that's not true. Women have unique perspectives, skills, and talents in the industry. And their contributions are invaluable. We have women who are carpenters, and one of my good friends builds decks for a living, and she has her own business. I mean, we definitely can do the same. The other thing is that it's not a suitable career path for women due to the physical nature of the work. And in reality, the advancement of different technology and equipment too have made the task less physically demanding in many cases. So it's opening up women to excel in, like I said, building decks, carpentry, plumbing, electrical work, project management, design, engineering, and of course, leading the companies as the women builders and remodelers at the lead. So that's something we just need to keep getting it out there, and getting that information out. It's essential that we showcase these women, these incredible women in our industry, and their achievements and their successes. We can do this through social media, of course, magazine articles, great shows and platforms like this, Diversity Matters, of course, and to inspire women to pursue their careers in construction. I just think it's amazing how many more women we're seeing coming into the workforce, but it's because they're realizing it's a place that they can make their careers and make a really incredible wage, and really provide for their families.
Well, one thing too, Luellen, I'll never forget this because, one year I was working with a new construction site. And one of the things that, by the way, women are the number one right now in many markets of first-time home buyers. A lot of women are
Right.
are buying homes more than any other group. And so, I remember the design, asking for our recommendations. And I said, well, you need to have a place where women, like in the garage where you can bring in the stroller, like have a place for large items like strollers and things that women are, that have children are using, and the design of it. And he was like, oh my God, I never thought about this. And these are great ideas. So those are things that I know too, that women can bring those, they look at different things from a different point of view, just as men do, right? This is what we need, and so I thought that was very interesting that we were able to provide a lot of feedback that this builder took into consideration as he was designing this new home. So I love that.
Yeah, a lot of our, I would say on a lot of the homes, you'll see that the design team is led by women, and is often all women, because they really identify with what is needed for that home and what that family is going to need to make them feel comfortable. And then the builder takes the lead from them.
It's just great. I mean, just a lot of great feedback, information that they can help in the design. So I can see that being a huge role that's definitely led by women. So how do you see, because you already talked on this, Luellen, about mentorship and how important it is for us to be able to, work and follow those that are involved in the industry, especially women, and advancing that in the construction side.
Right. Well, mentorship, of course, provides valuable support and encouragement to women as they navigate their careers. It helps them develop their skills, their confidence, which is so important when you're dealing with a room full of men, and professional networks too. There are professional networks that are needed to succeed. By connecting women with mentors who have experience and insights to share, mentorship programs help bridge that gender gap and facilitate career advancement opportunities. And I loved what you had even said a little earlier, where you were talking about the men sponsors in your life. And that's important too, those men who are willing to step up and sponsor women and say, she would be phenomenal for this role, and helping to support them. I think things like that are so important. And then the networking, that is so key to empowering women in construction, providing them with relationship building and collaboration and knowledge sharing. That knowledge sharing piece on how to gain respect on a job site. that conversation I've heard that so many times, and I've learned little nuggets of information that have been so valuable, with just when you're dealing with a crew of all men and you're the one taking the lead on the job, or even just being on that team. You want to have the respect of the ones that you work with. Also, networking events, professional associations, those are really important with networking. The National Association of Home Builders and Professional Women in Building, plus your industry conferences like the International Building Show. Those are fantastic platforms for women to connect with peers and mentors and industry leaders and expand their professional circles, of course. You can really continuously build those relationships. I think that's so important.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that, when I attended many of your events, especially the PWB classes, one of the things that you've also done very well, which I think I have a difficult time in, is how to negotiate those contracts, because negotiation is a huge part of landing a contract, and also pairing yourself up with, if you're a smaller organization, a small company, how do I pair myself with one that is larger, where then I can be the lead of that project, because I may not be able to win it, but I do want to be involved in it. So these are all things that I've learned, that I saw were courses that y'all offered at PWB, which are really great courses for all of us as women to be able to master. So I love, love, love all of the things that you do. One of my really good friends, Anna Kablik, who is a huge builder here in the Atlanta area, always talked about those types of connections, mentorships, sponsorships, but also the chambers of commerce, where you can develop that business and those opportunities as well. So I really love that PWB provides all that education and training and networking, so that others can say, hey, I want to mastermind with you. I have this situation. Who has done this? Where can I get advice so I can actually know what to do? So again, kudos for the work that you have done. So what advice would you give to a young woman or minority who really wants to go into more of a leadership role in the industry?
I would just say it's really important to stay committed to your goals and never underestimate the potential that you have, and the potential that you have to make an impact in the industry. I also recommend that you seek mentors and allies who can help provide guidance, support, and opportunities for growth. Additionally, I just would recommend that you always take time for opportunities to learn through education, industry certifications. Those are important. Hands-on training and experience. Getting that experience is so important. Building a strong foundation of knowledge and skills will not only build your confidence, but will also position you for success in leadership roles too.
I love the hands-on, because no matter how much you learn on paper, how many courses you take, there's nothing more significant than actually doing the work that will help you through that process. So what great advice. Looking ahead, as we're almost done with our time, what are your hopes and goals for the future of diversity and inclusion within the National Association of Home Builders and the broader construction industry?
I would say my hopes and goals would be that we create a culture where everyone feels valued, respected, and empowered to contribute their talents within the construction industry. I hope to see continued progress, which I know we are, in breaking down barriers that have historically hindered the participation and advancement of underrepresented groups. This may involve implementing policies and practices that promote fairness in hiring, promotion, and compensation. And I think it's very important that we continue to work together to amplify our efforts to attract, retain, and develop a more diverse talent pipeline.
I love that. I love that because I think it's definitely, especially on number one, the gender bias that we experience. Number
Mhm.
two, the pay equity, which is really important in the industry to really actually get paid what the job entails, right? And the different services that we do are the same. That is the same. So why get paid differently? So I love your goals. I love your objectives. I love learning about PWB and the work that you're doing. So thank you so much, Luellen. And I always end up providing a question for fun, like tell me more about you personally and what is something that somebody may not know about you.
Well, I kind of did share a little bit already. It's just that I didn't know if we would be talking at all about with my particular business. It's just the fact that we've had a lot of fun in our life, building wine cellars over the years and building the connections that we've had and with those who are in the wine industry, and how you start developing a taste for tasting wine and going wine tasting and things like that. It's just been a real fun experience for my husband and I to go through
You
this
have a
journey.
huge collection of wines yourself. I gotta know.
Do have some. We have two very small cellars, but
Nice.
we
Yeah.
do enjoy opening up a bottle or two here and there.
That's awesome. Awesome. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Llewellyn. It's been an absolute honor to learn about your background and the impactful work that PWB is doing. And as we wrap up another episode of Diversity Matters, I want to extend gratitude to all of you out there who are joining us and being part of this conversation. I really do appreciate our watchers. And I really want to thank them personally for all of their staying tuned every single month and joining our program. For those who are not familiar, you can also stay connected and informed about all our episodes. And you can actually access our inclusive content by visiting diversitymattersseries.com. And don't forget, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is diversitymattersyoutube.com. To catch all the episodes, Llewellyn, Sue Ellen, that we have in the backdrop of our archives. And so join us back here. I cannot wait on May 8th for Women Who Lead. And it's going to be a very special episode because it's actually celebrating mothers
Oh,
and featuring, yes, I can't wait, featuring trailblazing successors who are following their mother's footsteps in the real estate industry. And I'm especially excited to announce that my very own daughter, Jessica, is going to be one of our esteemed guests. And I'm really nervous about it. I was talking to her yesterday. I said, I'm really nervous about having you on the show, but she actually is in real estate herself in title. So I can't wait to hear from her. She's an amazing leader and so proud of her. And also on May 22nd, come back here because we're going to have another compelling episode of Diversity Matters. Anyway, thanks again, Llewellyn. I really do appreciate you
thank
coming on and
you.
talking about the work that y'all are doing.
I've really enjoyed being on the show, Teresa, and to getting to know you better. It's been wonderful. And I will be tapping in. Both of these sessions sound great. And I'm going to go back into your library too to see what else is out there.
Oh, I'd love for you to do that. But more importantly, I want to get a copy of that book because I really want to talk about it in our Diversity Meets
We'll
sessions
make
that we
sure you
have.
get one.
Awesome. All right, everyone, until next time, let's continue to champion diversity, equity, and inclusion in all that we do. And remember, diversity matters. Bye-bye, everyone.